Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. Today, talking yet again about XRP and Ripple, as there's a couple of very interesting things to note. Now, first of all, something quite peculiar happened in the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit. The SEC takes no position on the motions to file amicus briefs by the Investor Choice Advocates Network and Spend the Bits Inc., but requests that it be able to respond in its reply brief in support of the SEC's motion for summary judgment. They're, as of this point, basically saying, hey, you know what? We as SEC have most likely responded or tried to take some sort of position for too many friends of the court, which were all on Ripple's side, by the way. Right now, we don't want to hold any position because most likely it'll just waste the court's time because the court really doesn't stand with the SEC on this one. And Alex Cobb actually said it well as well. After fifth amicus brief, they gave up objecting. They're done with it. And Jeremy Hogan said basically correct. At some point, you're just wasting the judge's time and maybe pissing her off by doing so. This is not the SEC completely given up, but it's something towards the right direction because this basically showcases they've overstate their welcome to a certain degree by trying every single time it has no use. And this time they knew they could try again, but again, it would have no use. And so they'd rather not try at all. And so from that perspective, they've just exhausted their resources and more and more players keep joining Ripple's side, which they didn't prepare for. And Ripple had a good defense recently by saying, you should have prepared for that. You should have known. How come you didn't know if you've done your research well? And Jeremy Hogan and a couple of others are kind of funny on saying, why isn't anybody joining the SEC's side? Again, you got to realize here, these are all independent companies, not necessarily owned by Ripple, that are stepping in and saying, hey, we utilize XRP or the XRP ledger in some way, shape, or form. We're not affiliated with Ripple. We don't think this is fair. We don't think this is right. Now, if the SEC did their homework properly, this most likely shouldn't be the case unless all these companies joining are fraudsters. But in different words, I personally think the SEC was in some strange way not prepared for this to happen because they probably knew no companies would join their side except for maybe people looking for what exactly? What to fill in there? What could people be looking for and why would they sue Ripple? Well, the only thing I can think of is their money got lost with XRP, but that's not being a friend of the court necessarily. That's by saying that we can't use XRP for some strange reason, but that only hindrance is due to the SEC. So that makes no sense. So then it could be because the XRP price went down maybe? But then you sue Ripple completely. You don't join as a friend of the court. And that's basically what the SEC is kind of going for, and on the opposite end, the SEC's lawsuit made things way worse. So are you happy with the SEC then? I don't know. I feel as if they should have known nobody would join their side, but I'm also kind of confused as to who would or who could. Maybe the CFTC as an independent agency, or maybe, I really don't know who else could step in and say. Because we've gotten all the experts out, and a lot of experts were on Ripple's side, but I don't know exactly who else could join and for what reason they could be on the SEC side, which is, I guess, a positive sign. Now, Jeremy Hogan also shared a great article from Professor J.W. Verrett, arguing, among other things, that the SEC is improperly using Howey as a whip to drive the crypto cattle into registration. The SEC is treating Ripple like a Ponzi schemer, not a shaper of money's future. And that is ultimately indeed what is happening. It is unfair, it is unjust, it is not nice, but they keep continuing on the way that they've done for a long time right now. And all we can say about it is maybe it's time to relist XRP, because this stuff is all garbage. But there we go into the next article, which I think is interesting. Hopefully you guys can all read this fine. Brian Armstrong speaks out against crypto tribalism, but the Ripple CEO and community, they weren't that impressed. So there's a podcast from Anthony Pompliano where Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, basically had some interesting words. So, quote, I want the whole industry to collaborate more, end quote. Brian Armstrong and Anthony Pompliano discuss crypto tribalism and collaboration in the episode of Around the Block. Now, that would be interesting if there was some kind of truth behind it, and maybe there is. Notably, the Coinbase chief also asserts that while he is pro-Lightning Network, he is also supportive of everyone in the emerging market trying to increase global economic freedom through decentralized cryptocurrencies. However, Brad Garlinghouse was kind of quick to respond by saying, Tribalism Club. Because this is interestingly hypocritical coming from Coinbase, which took XRP off, and Wilbur said, finally the penny dropped. Brian Armstrong and Pompliano, it's what XRP holders have been saying in the longest while, but you're all scoffed at us. Tribalism is what will kill the industry. Togetherness is what will give us strength and make the crypto ecosystem grow. And the reason this is funny is because a lot of guys are anti-XRP or just pro-Bitcoin and Bitcoin only, or potentially pro-Bitcoin Ethereum and screw the rest, so to speak. But yeah, I just find it peculiar that these are his words, basically. It's just kind of interesting. Now, I personally still think, again, that realist XRP should be a thing. You can see, let me quickly go back on it. It was actually trending here, hashtag realist XRP. But at the end of the day, again, the most fun part is that they're not really trying to work with Ripple/XRP people at all. And I don't really know or understand exactly why they let go of this opinion when it really doesn't make a lot of sense and not that many people believe him. But hey, that is just a theory, my theory, right, on the matter. On the opposite end of things, XRP is doing pretty good. Just real quick, if you guys are actually looking for a different crypto exchange to use, make sure you check out Bidget. You can use it in every country around the world as of this point. A couple of you guys have said, oh, it doesn't work in my country. I wonder what happens when you just click away the message that says it doesn't work, because as far as I've noticed, you can use it in every country with no VPN and no KYC. And right now you get $10 just for signing up and $20 for depositing your first time. But there's actually a couple more juicy deposit bonuses where you can actually get up to $8,000 worth of rewards by depositing. And honestly, guys, I've said this before, this is absolutely massive because $8,000 can be used as $800,000 worth of trading money because you obviously have this leverage and because it is free. You can actually use it with a little bit more risk than I would with my own portfolio. And that basically means that you actually have a good chance to turn that $800,000 that you're trading with into a sizable amount of money. Whereas if it was your own money, well, it's still possible, but the risk percentage is just pretty high. And so usually that's why you use some lower leverage. Because it's free money, because it's a deposit bonus, I usually just go aping with it. And then there's basically a 50-50 chance of making a couple $1,000s and potentially losing a couple thousand free dollars, so to speak. So yeah, I always try that out. But hey, that's just me. You can also just trade with it diligently and take your time, learn how to trade. But you guys get the idea that there's a lot of possibilities with this. If you're wondering where to grab it, go to the rewards section in the app or on the website to claim your bonus. And yeah, to get back on it, XRP is doing pretty good. XRP accounts nearing 4.35 million mark. But here's even a crazier stat. Honestly, XRP has been doing pretty well in almost every single regard. If you look at year-over-year numbers, all is pretty good. You have to realize a couple of different things as well. One is that the more XRP accounts that created, the more XRP that is going to be locked up forever. And unless the price increases drastically where they lower this lockup amount, that is pretty bullish for XRP. Fuel is kind of deflationary, and obviously it is really deflationary as well, because there can never be more than 100 billion XRP in existence. I personally don't think that the crazier stat that they mentioned is actually all that cool. They're trying to say that just because a small amount of wallets out of the total pool actually has nothing inside of it, not sure exactly why anybody would care. I care more about the whole Coinbase and actually lawsuit, I guess, situation, because that's obviously a lot more important for the price. And funny enough, October, it's still going to end bullish, huh? It's kind of funny how this one went. I honestly did not expect things to turn back around. I kind of did, actually. Let me just say it like this. Fundamental-wise, I expected October to turn around. I was adamant. But then because you see October just ticking away, I'm like, ooh, it should swing, but it's not doing that. And then all of a sudden, at the end, it did actually have the bullish swing. Now, whether or not we're going to end at a crazy positive, obviously will depend on the next couple of days, about 4 more days to go. But hey, that was it for today's video. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed it. A couple of juicy crypto videos coming out later today. But let me know down below what altcoin you'd like me to see me make a video about. You understand what I mean? See you guys later.